How does Oklahoma look different defensively, maybe from the last time you would have been on staff and seen them?
Schematically they're different. They're probably a little bit more multiple in what they do. They're obviously they still have really good football players, but there's some things that are the same structurally, coverage-wise, and then there's probably a little bit more, and then third downs just different than what it was before. So, I think it is very different. Obviously it's a new coordinator, and structurally there's differences, but I think the similarities would be that they still have really good football players. They're really well coached, and they do a great job of running the football. I mean, obviously they're very skilled, but they do a great job running and pursuing the football.
Obviously Oklahoma's Oklahoma, but do you see any Mount Union type blueprints on the defense because of Coach Grinch, or not?
I'd be lying if I said I did. And my experience at Mount Union was on the offensive side of the ball. But knowing what I know about Coach Grinch, I don't know him as good as I didn't play with him, but I know what kind of player he was in college, and I know obviously a lot about him, and certainly know each other. But you can tell that he demands his guys to play really hard. They fly to the football, they play with great effort, and I'd like to think that's a Mount Union blueprint, but I think it's probably Coach Grinch and the rest of the coaching staff there.
Coach Campbell talked a lot about during the bye week going back to the basics offensively. What does that mean for you guys?
I think it's footwork and fundamentals. I think that's what football is constantly working on the fundamentals of the game and the things that are required with each specific position group in regards to how you move your feet, body position, and some of the what you would classify as a day one thing. I think it's important in the bye week to go back and have a chance to kind of try to really polish those skills up, where sometimes during the season you get caught into sometimes by necessity you get caught into the scheme of what maybe you have to do based on the defense you're playing. So footwork and fundamentals.
What does it say about Coach Karras that so many guys, you got multiple Mountain Union guys on the staff, got one at Oklahoma, now his coaching tree is pretty vast, extensive, from D3 to, D1 pros?
Obviously, it says a lot. If you asked him, it's never about him. But I think what made Coach Karras and what makes Coach Karras so unique is that a lot of guys go to school there and they have such a good experience in regards to football and being a student athlete there, that and the role models that he had with not only himself but the coaches there, that you want to pursue coaching. Maybe you did prior to, or maybe you were inspired there, but I think the one thing we've always felt there is that those guys did it right, and they made you love football. And I think if you didn't like football there, you didn't love football there, you stood out like a sore thumb. So, and just the way that he treated the players and treated the coaches, and the way that he always tried to groom people, and he still constantly does. He called me this week, kind of wanted to, shoot it a little bit and, talk about what other coach that maybe we played with, that was what they were doing and those kind of things. So certainly he's incredible.
Landon Akers, how did 2019 Landon Akers impress you after coming back from the Colts?
I think Landon is, there's a great credit goes to Landon because he consistently gets better every day. And that's not a cliche talking point. I think he really does. I think we've seen him just get better and better. He moved to the inside this year, which was different for him. And I think you've seen him make some really big plays for us. And then I think we've just seen him consistently get better. And the way he prepares and practices, every day looks the exact same, and he's done a great job.
How about Julian? Just his on-field consistency, being able to kind of stick at left tackle, and then off the field too, just kind of his evolution over the last several years?
Yeah, I tell you, he's been really a joy to have around, and have him just being able to watch him from the start to where he is now. And obviously as a player, he's gotten better and better, and he's always been a good player for us, but I think he's become like you alluded to, more consistent. But he's also just not only just consistency. He's also played really good. You know, he's played well. He's had high-end games and has done a lot of things really good for us. And you know, he's like most of our guys. He's matured off the field. He's a guy that's always been able to relate to everybody on the team. I think that's one thing that makes Julian really unique. But on top of that, I think he's done a great job with the young offensive linemen. And really, he has really transformed himself in being a leader on the football team.
When Dylan asked the same question of Coach Campbell, he wanted to bring Bryce into it. Similarities, obviously, both from Eastern Iowa, same class. Is one of the reasons you want to do that, maybe they both are examples of guys who maximize their potential or have been maximizing their potential and could leave having maxed out?
Yeah, I think both those guys, and Coach Haycock always says this, that the sign of a good team is, and the best chance for you to have to win is when your seniors are playing their best football. And that's kind of always stuck with me, and I think those two guys are really good examples of, they've been playing really good football here down the stretch, and they've really worked at it, and they stuck to it. And you know, those guys obviously were here when we got here, and you know, number one, playing offensive line, but also going through a staff change, like that's really hard. And I think those two guys have been really steady, and you know, and just kept going and chipping away at it, and they've been a pleasure.